Welcome into Missing the Point. And on this week's edition, we're going to cover all of week one NFL. It's football season, baby. And I think I brought the biggest, second biggest, maybe the biggest football fan on the show with me, the real BK, Bob Kelly. This is the last Wednesday night that we have to say we have to wait. We've been waiting all summer long for football. We have now 17 straight weeks of football. How you doing?
Man, that just makes my heart beat. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little excited. Like, the beginning of the football season is just so much emotions, man, because it's like you still have optimism, or at least I still have what?
Yeah. No. Like for the first time in a long time, Bobby, I don't envy you.
Yeah. Right? Like, I think you have less optimism than I.
Yeah. Like if we go 8-9, I'm like, you know what? I kind of expect that. But just for those out there that are new or aren't as deeply connected as Bobby and I, what's going to happen? I'm just going to let you guys know what's going to happen in Bobby's life, on his timeline, on his social media, before we go into the week one of the NFL preview. Weeks 1 through 4. If the Cowboys are anything above 2-0, this year is their year. It's the ship, right? That is it. Like, that's what we're looking for. Yeah. Weeks 5 through 9, depending on how if something happens and it's rocky, it's burn the boats. It's
burn it down, baby. Burn the shit down.
They always do this to me. Fuck them. I'm just waiting for next year. And then what they always do, and they've done it for the last 10, 12 years, Bobby?
Yeah. Last year was a little bit of the opposite, honestly. But yeah, this is the usual. And then last 4 weeks,
they find a way to reel you back in. And then they get you believing that, a wild card or a divisional, that they are everything that you thought they were in week 3, and then disaster strikes.
Yeah. I'm ready for it though. Exactly. That's where it is at this point. Is like, listen, I was broken at the end of last season. Okay, I was broken. Like, it just as a human being, but here we are, man. It's the night before. It feels like deja vu. We'll get there. We got Tampa again, but like, it's just, here we go.
Can I ask you?
It's gonna be a long run. Yeah.
Not to rub it in before, and not to get too off topic, but what was worse, last year or the Dez catch or not catch?
Dez catch will always be bad, because that team, it was gonna be the Pats and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, man. That was the year. It wasn't that was 11, wasn't it? So it was going to be your undefeated Patriot, or 07.
No. Dez catch was 11, right?
Was 11, right? Yeah, it was 11.
And we had Julian Edelman as our corner then.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, no. Dez catch goes down in history, man, because we should have won that game, and we should have gone to the Super Bowl. And like, there's so many different points in that Packers game that. Listen, don't get me too off topic.
All right, one last one, but I'll say it for myself too. One last one. Romo is the kick holder, or last year? That feels equal. Like, that feels like a pretty good comparison.
Equal. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. Last year was rough. Listen, before we get into, my positivity, let me bring it back to last year real quick. It just, the positivity of a team that I saw through exactly what you said. It extended last week until that Patriots game. So it was like week 1 through 7. Just was so different. But then that Denver game brought out those old demons. And then from then on out, you just saw it leaking through at times. And just by the time I got to San Francisco, honestly, I had already gotten to the point where I was like, they're going to lose this fucking game. Like, I knew it was going to happen. So like, it didn't hurt as much. And then the way it happened, man, like, I saw a meme that was Impractical Jokers, where it was all 3 of them. You know how they like sit behind on the mic and they're like, tell them to do this. And then there was a little conversation bubble, and I said, tell them to run a draw up the middle with 12 seconds left. And they're like all laughing and shit. I was like, oh, God damn it, man. Like,
I mean, I sent that to you after it happened, and we almost.
Yeah, okay, so you sent it to me.
Yeah, we almost stopped talking. But I'm glad that you can look at it now and kind of laugh. But like, if you want to ask me, just to be clear, what's worse, Ray Rice in 09 or last year? Last year's worse. That Buffalo loss was disgusting.
Yeah,
absolutely disgusting.
So, you know what's amazing is like, so we're at the beginning now, right? So like last year's Buffalo loss for you, what was that? It was 40.
It was a lot to nothing.
Yeah, it was rough. The boys are, Dak's back in town. So it's a new beginning, and all those past demons, at least for the next 3 to 6 weeks. Yeah, 3 to 6 weeks are gone. Go ahead.
Right. Listen, I'm with you, but there's too much to look forward to sit here and harp on the past. So week 1 begins tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football, NBC. Their reigning defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams host the Buffalo Bills. This game is what I would imagine most people think is the best matchup against the two best teams in football. And right now, like I said, it's Buffalo's favored by 2.5, which really is 5.5 because the home team always gets 3.
Yeah.
And over under for this game is 52. So what are you looking for out of this game, Bobby? And I guess who do you expect to come away?
Listen, that's such a surprising line. When you think about the Rams just winning the Super Bowl and them pretty much retooling, you know what I mean? Like they lost Von Miller, but they got Bobby Wagner. They lost Odell Beckham and Robert Woods, but they got Allen Robinson. Yep. You know what I mean? So like even the pieces they lost, they went out and got dudes that are equal or like just as good. And the Bills added Von Miller. I mean, they didn't do much else besides that.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a lot of Bills hype to me on this game. It really does. I think I like the Rams in this game. I just think, we've seen it before. Patriots have had this game many, many times, man. This is the Super Bowl game. This is where you get your rings. This is the beginning of the new season. You're no longer champs. And I think the Rams, I think they're going to come out and at least they're definitely going to cover that plus 2.5. I mean, I can definitely tell you that. I can't believe the Bills are favored in this game. That's what jumps out of the page to me. It's like, how is Vegas going to tell me the Bills are favored over the defending Super Bowl champs? I just don't get it.
Well, also, like, the Bills are starting backups at corner. I mean, when you really think about this, I mean, you have is it Kyer Elam or Christian Benford? Like that one is, Elam is Buffalo's first round pick out of Florida, and then you have Benford was a 6th round selection out of Villanova, and that's your starting. And if either one of those players is going to start opposite of Dave Jackson, which by the way, like he's not a shutdown corner either. So the fact that Buffalo is favored by 2.5 points, especially. As we just mentioned, like when the home team usually gets 3, what does Vegas know about Stafford's elbow that we don't?
That's where you're going to take this. You're going to go that route. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's always sketchy when you see those ad heavy websites dropping that like Stafford's elbow is okay and things like that. So like right. I hear you, but. You really think that's actually a thing? I mean, I guess.
Well, okay. So let's assume that Stafford is 1,000% healthy.
Mm-hmm.
In what world does that offense not throw up 35 points against
the backup secondary?
A backup secondary. Like, so what do they know?
Yeah, fair. All right, fair.
And the over-under is only 52, so they're expecting that this could be right around a 28-26 game. And you're telling me that Stafford can't pick apart a rookie secondary?
Well, to be fair, that's the tied for the highest over-under on the league. So,
well, right.
So,
but it's Josh Allen and
Matthew Stafford. No, you're right. You're right. Listen, you're right. I don't know, man. Like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. If there's any reason why the Bills would be favored in this game, it is something to do with like an injury or like something that we just don't know about, because there is no there's literally no reason for it unless it's just the public just pounding the Bills. So I don't know what it opened up at, but I don't know, man.
That's a hell of a line.
It is
a hell of a line.
It kind of throws me off for like the whole game. You know what I mean? Like what? Wow.
So you're taking Buffalo?
No, I'm taking the Rams. I'm taking the Rams and the points in this game, 100%. Listen, they're getting their rings. The hype's gonna be up. I haven't seen. When was the last time the Super Bowl champion lost on opening night? I feel like it's mostly Super Bowl.
Didn't Dallas beat Tampa Bay last year?
No, Dallas lost. It was a great game, but Dallas lost them. Year before that,
it was the Chiefs were the team the year before that. I don't know when the last time that happened was, but what I do know is that
I wish we had a producer presence that could look it up for us.
Like a stat geek.
Yeah, like do you remember Stat Guy from
Yeah. Now he has his own
PTI. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, anyways.
So we're both taking the Rams. In
100%. I mean, it shouts at me that that the Bills are just the hype team for coming into this year, because they are 100%, and I get it. Listen, Josh Allen, you got Gabriel Davis, you got Stephon Diggs, Singletary, Von Miller, you got all Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. Like, I get it, but the Super Bowl champs are coming into town. They're getting their rings, and like that place is going to be hyped. So, I know LA is known to be fair weather fans, but it's the Super Bowl champs coming in ready to defend their title. I don't see that letdown.
Their title.
Right, exactly. In the stadium, they won the title. It blows my mind that we're looking at Bills minus 2.5 for this game. Pound the Rams, and it's on.
Let me give you my hot take. I think the Rams win by more than a touchdown.
Yeah, okay, I'm with it. It would surprise me more if the Bills won by more than a touchdown than if the Rams won by more than a touchdown. 100%. I'm with you. Yeah.
Next game on the docket, as those of you that are watching on YouTube, are my favorite. New England Patriots visiting the Miami Dolphins. Oh, God, this, we've heard all week from Bill that says, well, the preseason, the first 4 weeks of the year are really just an extension of the preseason. We're trying to figure things out. I think this will either be Miami wins by more than 14 or the Patriots win by 3. I still just can't wrap my mind around who's going to cover Tyreek Hill if Jaylen Waddle is healthy. Even if he's not healthy, I mean, you're going to put your number 2 corner on him. So like he wins that. You get Matt Gesicki, and you better hope that your fast, nimble, safety-like linebackers can cover. I think this has all the makings for a blowout in Miami and in favor of Miami. But I'm going to start the season optimistically and say that I think that this might be one of the weeks where everybody's going to, on Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, going to say, well, maybe the Dolphins were overhyped. Maybe we gave them too much. Or they're 0-1, they just lost to the Patriots, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to take the Patriots I'm going to say by 3 points by field goal. Miami's favored by 3.5. So again, that tells you that this is basically a pick 'em because it's in Miami.
Mm-hmm. And that's proven too by the over-unders for the year, because they're both at 8.5. So right. So Vegas is really telling us that they think these teams are equal. And I think that just goes to show you how much more confidence Vegas has in Bill Belichick. And how much more confident, you know what I mean? How much more confidence the world has in Bill Belichick than any other coach that's ever existed. Which is 100% warranted. Now, I have a couple questions for you. Being the Patriots fan here amongst the two of us, is this the lowest your expectations have been going into a season since we've known each other? 100%, right? There's no doubt about that.
Can I counter that?
Yeah.
this is the most important home opening game of Bill Belichick's career.
To see what he's actually
to see what he's actually made of, to see if this new offensive scheme that they tried to instill over the last 6 months actually worked and they were just fucking with us all. But I think, this is now nut cutting time. We need to figure it out. But I mean, to your original question, I think 09 was I didn't have a lot of expectations. You and I actually watched that game together back in the condos. That was Brady's first game back after the torn ACL against the Bills. He brought them back to win by, I think it was like 3 points or something like that. Was it the Bills or the Steelers? Either way, Brady. It was Brady to Watson in 2009, which is just absolutely wild to think about. But I didn't have high hopes then. But for me, like this is the most important opening game of Belichick's career. But like, to you,
can I just tell you one thing? That's not a fucking answer. That's not that's not an answer at all. Listen, it has to be.
My expectations for this team are low.
Very low. Very low. And so amongst the Patriots fans on the podcast, right? Yours are the lowest of the three of them. Without a doubt.
That doesn't sound right, Bobby. No, it can't be true. I'm typically a glass half full type of guy.
That's bullshit. I just feel like exactly what if 8 and 9. So you said this at the very, if 8 and 9 happens this season for the Patriots, that's a good season to me, man. But
it isn't though, because they went 10 and 7 last year with the rookie quarterback.
But the AFC is so much better this year. So much better.
Is it?
It is. No, AFC is really good.
Our schedule isn't that much harder though. I mean, the first 4 games suck, but there's like a 4 in the middle there where you got the Bears, the Lions, the Jets. But now, if the thing is, I'll cut myself off. The Jets aren't just a game that you're going to win anymore. They had a excellent draft. Yahoo would have given them an A-, just like they gave me last night. They had an excellent draft.
That was you were the top guy. You were the A-. Yeah, I was right below you. I was the B, but anyway, keep going. Yeah.
So, like, as I said before, you can go back, listen to any show notes. I whether it was with Karen Garigian or whether it was with all of us, I said there's a real possibility that the Patriots are closer to the Jets in this division than they are the Bills.
Yeah,
and I believe that. And and the fact that me, as to your point, who is usually the most pessimistic Patriot fan that you talk to, it sounds like I'm part of the majority now. Like, no one has high hopes for this year, but I'm not going to spin it. I promise you can bookmark it now. If they finish 8-9, this season is a failure, an abject failure. A year and a half after you spend $200 million guaranteed dollars to secure your offense. Yeah. F that.
Okay, fair.
Next on the list.
Wait. So, what do you think? So you said if you had. Who are you picking in this game?
Patriots
also everyone. Patriots by 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, everyone out there, if you go listen, everyone knows we're also on the 617. Go check our 617 podcast where we just broke down this game in like full detail. Joe and Ray really went to town on this game yesterday. It was a good podcast. Even from a non-Pats fan. But I'm going Pats too. I just don't see Bill doesn't. I can't remember. You guys lost last week to Miami with 1, didn't you?
Sure did.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't trust Tua, man. I don't trust.
Did we?
Yeah. No. It was a great game. It was a game. I think like you guys fumbled at the goal line or some shit, or was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
It all blends
together. Cam, but I mean, Miami did start 1-7 last year, so it wouldn't surprise you if they're and we did start 1-3.
Okay. But yeah, no, I'm gonna pick the Pats. I'm with you. I'm going Pats by 3. This is actually, I have them in an underdog parlay for this week. For one of them, it screams to me that opening week, like 17-10 game or something like that. Yeah, go ahead.
tap it into last week's show with DK that you can find here in the show notes where you went over all the lines, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to the next the next dumpster fire. We have the Saints versus the Falcons. This is not the Saints you remember, not the Falcons you remember. We have quarterback Jameis Winston squaring off against quarterback Marcus Mariota. The line right now is New Orleans at -5.5, which again is really 8 because they're not home. They're traveling to the other Mercedes-Benz Dome to face the Falcons. Over-under is 42. I think, this could be a game where we have to pick somebody because somebody actually has to win. Although I'd love to see these two teams tie. My gut's telling me, though, that you're going to see the Saints suffer without Sean Payton. It isn't going to happen this game, though. This is a game that Jameis Winston, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, regardless of how healthy he is when he shows up, and that New Orleans Saints defense, I think that this is going to be an absolute shellacking. I have the Saints winning this game by 14 or more.
I like that a lot. I think the Falcons are in play for worst record this year. And you look up and down that roster, there's maybe, is there an all-pro on that entire roster?
Kyle Pitts.
That's it. Right. Period. That's it.
I mean, their skilled players aren't terrible. Like, I would compare them.
Listen, I'm not saying they're terrible. There's just no one.
No.
There's not one person that you're like, I want him. I want him on my fantasy team.
There's
not two. There's Kyle Pitts, and that's it.
Yeah.
And there's no one on the defense. I literally can't.
No, God, no.
I can't name one player on their defense right now off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on this. I think the Saints are a good pick for like an underdog. You know what I mean? Underdog team of the year, just because, Dennis Allen was there. The team knows him. Although he was one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in my life in Oakland. But we'll see what happens. I feel like he's had some time under Sean Payton, and things are going to be all right this year. Also, watch out for Jameis. I feel like he could have one of his 30-25 seasons this year.
This is
I feel like that's on the table.
Get ready for Sunday afternoon, Monday morning on whatever network you watch, where it says, "Is this Jameis's year?" Because he's going to go 33 of 41 for 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. I'm with you. Yeah.
Moving down, we have the 49ers, Trey Lance's 49ers, taking on DK Sizzle's own Chicago Bears. This is at Soldier Field. The 49ers are favored by 7 points. It's 7 points, and the Bears are home. Over-under is just over 40. I think the real takeaways from this game are going to be what is Trey Lance's ability to run the offense that oh boy, I'm really just blanking on this guy's name. Kyle Shanahan's offense. Can he actually run it? And is he going to be a serviceable replacement? I know that San Francisco has done a pretty good job of controlling the narrative and keeping the room quiet. Jimmy G just restructured.
So weird. That whole thing is so weird.
Just restructured his contract so that he makes less this season than Trey Lance, which again, good for Jimmy for doing that. You got Deebo Samuel. You had Kittle. This should be an offensive juggernaut. And so the keys to this game for San Francisco are seeing how advanced Trey Lance is. The keys to this game for Chicago is don't let Justin Fields fucking die on the field. That's it. That's the
key to the season, right?
Yeah.
100. The Bears are so weird to me this year, man. This is going to be a weird year for the Chicago Bears. But the 49ers to me with Trey Lance there's no bigger team to have. There's no bigger discrepancy between a ceiling and a basement for a team this year in the NFL than the 49ers. I feel like they lessened that a little bit with the whole Jimmy G thing signing to the backup quarterback. But That's so weird to me, man. Imagine I just want to like lay this out for you. Like imagine going into a new job, right? And they hire you to be the president of the company, the dude that they think is going to make like a good company into the great company that's going to make billions of dollars. But right before the season's about to start, they're like, well, so there was the CEO that was here, but like he's kind of leaving, but we're gonna have him like kind of in the wings waiting in case you fuck up.
Just in case.
In case shit just goes wrong. You know what I mean? Like in case you decide to run us into the ground, he's gonna come pick up the slack and you're gonna sit on the side and like watch his shit again. And it's like that mindset I feel like it would fuck with me. I don't know what kind of guy Trey Lance is, but like me in that position, I promise you I'd be looking over my shoulder like, what the fuck is this guy telling these dudes that he's been in contact with for the last 5 years?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he knows them more than I do and like has been with them for more time. So I just feel like it would get in my head. So I feel like it has to be getting in. I'm a human being. He's got to be a human being too. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Then the whole thing just weirds me out.
Jimmy G is taking this team to the 2 out of the last 3 NFC championship games.
Right. It's not like he hasn't been successful. Exactly.
Right.
It's just the whole message to me throws me off. However, the Bears are, I'm sorry, DK, maybe the basement of the NFL this year. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to have a good season, and I can promise you that. So it's just like unknown versus really bad, and I'll take the unknown, possibly good, over the really bad every day of the week.
I'll just say something good about the Bears. I think that what we saw last year is they could not protect Justin Fields, so they went out and they made sure that they either drafted or secured offensive line help in the offseason. The problem with that is that they let all of their offensive skill players go from the wide receiver position. So now he might have time, but he has no one to throw to.
He's got time to help them not get open.
Right. But this does feel like a game that could go the Bears' way, right? I think it's the first game. It is Trey Lance. It isn't Jimmy G. I really want to pick the Bears. I'm taking the 49ers in this game. I don't know if they'll cover, but they'll win by like 6.
Agreed. That seems about right to me. I wouldn't put hard-earned money on the Bears in this game. That's where I'm at. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears won, but I wouldn't bet it. It's one of those where like, if the Bears won this game, I'd be like, oh wow, that's crazy. I would never put my money down on that.
For all those listening, that means you need to go on the Bears right now.
Oh my God,
right now. I think next up is one of the most compelling matchups of week 1. We have the new regime in Pittsburgh, Mitchell Trubisky and the Steelers taking on what could be the Super Bowl hangover / runner-up Cincinnati Bengals. This is at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Bengals are favored by 6.5, which really isn't that much. I mean, again, home team always hits about 3. Over under is 45 or 44.5. Listen, I really believe that the Bengals are for real. The things that they needed to shore up, the things that we all thought were their biggest mistakes when they drafted Jamar Chase, instead of taking the offensive lineman, they've gone out and they've rectified. They have put money into that offensive line. So will there be a Super Bowl hangover? Maybe. I also want to give the credit, like we have been for the last couple of weeks, to Mike Tomlin. I think that the Steelers quarterback position now is better than it was at this time last year. Big Ben was just a shell of his over-aggressive self. So I think that we have a real chance to see a better Steelers team. That being said, the Bengals were a wagon. Were an absolute wagon last year, to the point where when it looked like you should count them out, they won the game. So now it's making it hard for me to even believe that you're going to count them out in week 1. I think this is going to be a great game to watch, but I'm taking the Bengals. I'll take them Over under is 44.5. Give me Bengals 28-21.
I like that. No, I like that a lot because I'm with you on the Bengals. The offensive line was definitely the weak point, and they went out and they signed. Who did they got? They got I can't think of the names. But they went out. I literally can't think of them. But yeah, no, I'm with the Bengals. Especially this year, and I'm already a Steelers hater. Even though the biggest problem with that team over the last 5 years was the quarterback.
Some would say 15 years, but
well, I mean, fair. Depends who you're asking, I guess.
Shouldn't.
No, I'm with you on that, especially with the Super Bowl hangover thing with this team. I just don't see it because of who the quarterback is. You know what I mean? This dude, Joe Burrow, as I like to call him. Just is ice cold, man. He's got ice water running through the veins like he got sacked 7 times in a playoff game. 7 times
and won.
Get out of here. Like that just shows me that like it doesn't matter to him. He tore his ACL because the offensive line was terrible. Came back, the offensive line was still terrible, and brought them to a goddamn Super Bowl. Shut up. It's just like the Super Bowl hangover thing is just stop. It's not going to happen with this team. I believe in the Bengals this year. I'm with. So yeah, by at least 7, I think. I see a couple picks by Trubisky in this game, maybe like a two touchdown, 3 interception game. One of those where it's like he kind of looks like he has it, but then every once in a while it's just no. It's still Mitchell Trubisky. It's still the Bengals. And Joe Burrow is still in town. Jamar Chase is still in town. Joe Mixon's still in town. Like, you just go down the route. That wide receiver group is unreal. Taj Boyd.
Tyler
Boyd. And who's the other one?
Jamar Chase.
And, well, of course, Jamar Chase. But
Higgins.
Yeah, T. Higgins. Yeah. It's just the wide receiver room's off the charts. And I just see the Bengals trouncing the Steelers in week 1. Come on.
Agree. Then we have the Eagles, your favorite divisional rival, taking on the Detroit Lions. This will be at Ford Field. The Philadelphia Eagles are favored by 4 points. The over/under is 48.5. So they think that they think it's going to be. I think that means they think it's going to be a blowout. Let me just tell you this about the Eagles. This is the year for Jalen Hurts to prove that he belongs in the NFL. You have Jalen Hurts starting at quarterback. You have a really good wide receiver, running back room, and then you went out and with Devonta Smith, you then added AJ Brown. I think was Zach Pascal there last year. I think they added him too.
I think they added him. Yeah.
So you've added some good depth at wide receiver, and
Pascal from the Colts back in the day.
I don't know about back in the day. It's his 5th year.
Okay.
From Old Dominion.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you have the guy that replaced Zach Ertz. Is it? It's Dallas Goedert as your tight end. Like this should be a great year for Jalen Hurts. This defense also added some firepower in the offseason. They are my pick to win the NFC East. I was overruled in that. You overruled me, so it doesn't matter what I say now. You and I are on the same team. You overruled me. But this is a game that I promise you, it will not be close. If that over/under is 48.5, it's because it's going to be 35-14 Eagles over the Lions.
Yeah, the general public is 65% Eagles, 35% Lions. So I mean, the general public's definitely with you on that. I don't want to overreact to Jalen Hurts based off this game. I'm putting it out there right now. I'm with you.
Well, let me ask you a question. If he has a terrible game, will you overreact to it?
Yeah, of course.
No, you can't have a both way.
Yes, I can. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm allowed to do that. Yeah, no, the Eagles are going to win this game. I agree with you there. The only thing that I took out, so did you watch Hard Knocks?
Yeah, the guy can sing Billie Jean, bro. Like that's I've tried to. So the problem with Hard Knocks is, for the 5 episodes that you watch, you believe that you are watching a team that is figuring shit out.
Yeah. 100%, bro. And I just, the coaching staff, they don't seem that good. I don't know. It just kind of seems like, so they went the way of like, all the players. Like you look around and it's like literally every position coach is a former player, from the D coordinator, the linebackers coach, the offensive line coach. And I feel like it's a possible way to success, but just watching that team, they just seem so undisciplined. And it just seems like, at least for week one of like full speed football, that team doesn't look ready. So I'm with you. I think the Eagles trounced the Lions in this one.
I think Dan Campbell is the guy that can motivate people. I think that he's a guy that I'd probably want to have a drink with. But when it comes down to game planning, I'm not sure that, based on what I've seen, that he has it to win.
He seems like a bigger Jason Garrett to me. If you look at what he does, like when you look at Hard Knocks, right? I don't mean to like go off on a Lions tangent, but like when you look at Hard Knocks, right? It just doesn't seem like he does anything, does it? Like it does. He's not like ever game planning. He's not ever doing that. He just walks in and he's like, "Listen, man, we are this, man, this and grit and grind and we're gonna be the hardest fighting team." And then they're like in the game, they just show him on the sideline, just like, yeah, like it just he just looks like a bigger Jason Garrett to me.
Just take it from one Ford lover, to another. I own a Ford. The Fords own the Lions. Stands for Found on Road Dead, and that's where you can find the Lions after this game.
Boom.
Next, we have the Ravens versus the Jets. This should be a blowout. Should be a blowout. 7-point line, and that's Baltimore favored by 7 at the Jets. Over unders 44.5. I get it. The Jets had a phenomenal draft. I always crap all over Lamar Jackson, but when it just comes to head coaching,
it's a funny analogy to use from Lamar Jackson.
when it comes to just offensive skill and then coaching ability, this has the Ravens written all over it. I mean, I think if it's close, that's sad, but I have the Ravens here. 28-16.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm with you on the Jets. That draft was amazing. It was one of the best drafts I've seen from the Jets in a long time. They got Sauce, they got Garrett Wilson. So like they did work in that first round. But do we know if Zach Wilson's playing in this game yet? I'm pretty sure this is Joe Flacco, right?
You mean the Mormon MILF hunter?
Yeah, the Mormon MILF hunter, right? Do we know if the MILF hunter extraordinaire is going in week one?
I mean, if it's Joe Flacco, then maybe he gets up a little bit. Maybe he gets up a little bit because he's going against his former team. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Joe Namath could walk out of that field in his prime, and the Jets aren't going to beat the Ravens.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, no, we don't need to spend much more on this. It's going to be Ravens by a lot. I can't believe it's only 7.5. That makes me think that 7. That makes me think that,
which is really 10 though. Remember, that's 10 because the Baltimore's away.
This is a 14-point game. You know what I mean? You look at this game. If the Ravens are who we think they are, with Lamar and even with the wide receiver core, missing Hollywood Brown, it doesn't matter. The Ravens should win this game by 14 if they are who we think they are. The quote Mr. Singletary. I just don't get that, Len. It kind of throws me off a little bit. I don't know. I think
Dennis Green.
Dennis Green. Yeah, Dennis Green. Yeah, sorry. I got the quotes mixed up. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just cut that in post. Do we want to spend any time?
No, what were the Singletaries? Singletaries was I want winners.
Well, winners.
I want winners. Okay.
Can't coach with them. Can't win with them. Can't do it. Won't.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
Can't do it. Can't win with them. Won't. Do you even want to talk about the Jaguars versus the Commanders?
Wow, what a terrible game. What a terrible is that so these are all 1 p.m. games, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the game we shown on Red Zone. Because that's what we're all watching week 1, right? That's what everyone's watching.
Yeah. Hopefully soon to be a sponsor.
But fair enough. That'd be so cool.
Carson Wentz sucks.
Scott Hansen. Scott Hansen, come on our podcast. We want you.
Carson Wentz sucks. He's a loser. I'm rooting for the Jaguars because if they don't do it this year, like they're going to destroy the future of their quarterback.
That's so sad because Trevor Lawrence has had the highest upside I can remember since like Andrew Luck coming out, right?
He lost 12 and a half times more last year than he ever lost in his entire career before.
That's unbelievable. Let's say I just look at the Jags this year. It's like they had the worst situation we've ever seen, which was called here on Missing the Point from day one by you mostly. I agreed with you though. Listen, that Urban Meyer regime was doomed from the beginning, man, and it was the worst head coaching regime I've ever seen in my entire life. So that's got to be worth at least 2-3 wins this year. But yeah, we don't need to talk about it much more. This is going to be a rough season for both of them. I'm going to pick the Jags in this game just because Carson Wentz still has, if there's ever a quarterback that keeps demons in his head and gets it in his own head, is Carson Wentz. And he just had the worst loss of his career against the Jags at the end of the last season. So I'm going with you. I'm with the Jags.
Browns and Panthers. So we have Baker Mayfield going up against his old team. He is the home team. Carolina is favored in this game by it's Carolina minus 1.5. Again, they're the home team, so that's again it's a pick 'em over under 43. This is the Deshaun-less Cleveland Browns for the first 11 games. They do have Amari Cooper, so their wide receiving core is exponentially better than it was last year, regardless of who's throwing the ball. I think Baker shows up this game. So I think this, if there's going to be a game that he has, the game of the year, it's probably going to be week 1. I actually think the Panthers are going to win by 10. My final score is Jesus. It was 31-20. But I mean, I don't think the Browns are going to be terrible. If they can be 5-6, 4-7 by the time Deshaun comes back from suspension, then that's a great way to hold this out. But I think, and also for you Carolina Panther fans, like take a picture because we have no idea how much longer McCaffrey is going to be healthy this season. So like this is the first time you get to see Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore all on the same field. I'm going Panthers all the way.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think the Panthers are a good candidate for underdog of this year. But I don't think it'd be understated. Listen, Jacoby Brissett last year was so bad in Miami. He was so bad, man. Like he was unwatchable at time. He had his moments in New England. He had his moments. Where was he after New England? He went somewhere else.
Indy, and he got through a play.
Yeah, in Indy. But in Miami last year, man, he was really, really, really bad. And he has to play 11 games for them. So I think it's going to be a really tough start to the season for the Browns. And I'm also with you on Baker, man. If there's one thing about Baker, is he thrives being a dick. Being just an asshole to the outside world and being like, fuck you, you gave up on me. I think this is a Baker game, man. I think this is the game that we see Baker throw for 3-4 touchdowns. I'm with you on this. Like you said, everyone's healthy in Carolina for the short extent every year, and they look like they're on the rise. So I'm with you. I think Carolina wins this game with ease. And we're just like every single season, like where we're last year, the last 2-3 years, talking about, is this Carolina's year after week 1? I can't wait. Side note, I can't wait for week 1 overreactions. That's my favorite time of the year.
Yours for Philly is going to be great.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for it. Listen, where we dissect one game of football for every team, like it's like just the entire years where we're like, listen, this team sucks this week, so it's over.
It's over.
Done. I can't wait.
That we have Matt Ryan's Indianapolis Colts heading down to Houston to face the Texans. This is the last of the 1 o'clock slot. Indy is favored by 7, so this is the 10-point game is what Vegas is saying. Over under is 45.5. I'm here to tell you right now, Matt Ryan is a choke artist. I mean, he is what Dan Marino is thought of by our generation, except he's just not even on his same level. He gets his team to a Super Bowl. He gets up 20-3, and they lose that. I bring that up because he's never been the same since.
That's gonna haunt him forever, man.
Haunt him. And you know what? I know. If you listen to a previous show, I'm gonna go ahead and correct myself. The Texans, they had a good draft. They will be without John Mechie for a good portion of this year, if not the full year.
That's not funny. I'm sorry.
Right, you shouldn't have laughed. But the reason why he was laughing was because I did say that John Mechie would play. I completely forgot that what his circumstances with leukemia. What I will say is, I'm picking.
I was laughing at you.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm picking Houston in this game. I think Indy is going to have a good year, but the overreaction will be from me next week when Indy loses to Houston, and I get to come out and say, I told you about Matt Ryan. He sucks. This team's going to win 4 games, and then they win 12. But I think Davis Mills is a serviceable quarterback. I think he gets a lot of shit thrown on him as being one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I don't think that that's true. I think that Brandon Cooks had a rejuvenating year at Houston last year. And I think that if there's ever a time for Houston to steal a win, it's going to be this game. So I'm going to take Houston by 6 in this game.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this.
I've been with you all the way.
So I know this is weird. It's weirding me out.
Why don't you go first next time?
Yeah, I mean, I might have to. I'll throw you off and not tell you which game we're going to yet. No, I just, if there's a game so let me back up a little bit. Davis Mills first. I doubted you on Davis Mills since you started talking like
this. I said it.
Since you've been like, this guy's not that bad. I think he's pretty good. The more I read and the more I dig into Davis Mills, the more I kind of like him, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Good.
Yeah, no, he like you told me he was the quarterback. I think it was the quarterback 11 from week 12 on from last year in fantasy football. And since you said that, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like I've kind of teetered off on my shit talking, because when you said that, I looked it up and I was like, that's absolutely correct. Like he kind of put up numbers at the end of last year. I still think this Houston team I don't know what they're doing down there, because every time I look at like a player that was good in fantasy football for like 6 weeks in 2018, their starting player on the Houston Texans, like it was like Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, Brandon Cook,
Rex Burkhead is their
Rex Burkhead. Like it just is like the who's who of fantasy football stardom of 6 weeks back in 2018. Yep. But I'm kind of with you on Davis Mills, man. And I'm also with you. Listen, I love BC. I'm a BC Eagles fan till I die. And I love Matt Ryan, but he's such a choke artist. So listen, even going back to the BC days, I'll throw it down to that, where he had the best game I've ever seen. He beats Virginia Tech on this wild throw across the field where it's like, oh my God, this team might actually do it. They lost to Maryland the next week.
To Zolax, Maryland.
Like, get out of here. I'm out on Matt Ryan. If there was a funnier quarterback to replace Carson Wentz in Indianapolis, it's Matt Ryan. So I'm with you. The Jaguars also, by the way, have a tendency of beating the Colts week 1.
Well, they're playing the Texans.
Oh, my bad. The Jaguars have a tendency of winning week 1. So just throwing that down.
What I would also just want to let you know is that Side note: I'm a big Lovie Smith fan, and he's already proven that he can take a below average quarterback to Super Bowl. That he did an all world defense. I'm not saying that the Texans are going to the Super Bowl. What I am saying is that they're not going to win they're going to win more than 2 games this year.
They will. Why did I start talking about the Jaguars? What the hell is wrong with it?
CTE, but I think I think you could really see so you just almost made me do it. The Texans like right around like 6-11, 7-10, which would be a really good bounce back here after a great draft and all the picks that they just got for Watson. So they're in a pretty good spot. I don't want to spend a lot of time in this game because I think it's pretty obvious. Giants at Titans. Great.
Yeah, that's it.
Packers visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Now, this is odd because the firepower in Green Bay and that other oh God, I just hate him. That other quarterback that I just really, really hate, Skidmark. The line right now is Green Bay -1.5, and they are at they're at Minnesota. Over under is 47. I think for the first time in Kirk Cousins' stay up there in the NFC North, he has more offensive firepower and more defensive firepower than the Packers do. So this really pains me. Like I'm having some.
Don't pick the Vikings. Are you gonna pick the Vikings?
I'm picking the Vikings by 10.
You know why I said that? Fuck.
No.
I like the Vikings too, man.
Great.
Listen, I think the Vikings. I know where the Packers are in my power rankings. I get it. You can attack me later down the line for where the Packers are my power rankings. I think the Vikings could unseat the Packers this year. I really, really do. If you look at so what's been wrong with the Vikings, right, is they've had the best offense that we've seen put together, like talent wise, in so long. You had Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and a quarterback. Listen, I know Kirk Cousins gets a bad rap. I get it. He's a weirdo. You watch him mic'd up, you're like, oh my God, if this guy came up to me talking to me, I'd be like, I don't want to talk.
It's just like your 8th grade science teacher as a football player.
Did you see the one clip where he came up to like some 15-year-old and he's like, hey, you look like my roommate from college, bro. You look like this guy. Like he's one of those guys that like you don't know who he is and just I don't know.
Right.
But that the offensive coordinator from the Rams is now their head coach, Kevin O'Connell. Right. He could come out and put Justin Jefferson in a spot to be Cooper Kupp. And let me tell you, Justin Jefferson is more athletic than Cooper Kupp. I can guarantee. Yeah. So it's just every position the Rams have, the Vikings have even better. But I just see that whole thing is just going to be, it could be very electric. So I'm with you on it. I think the Vikings are going to win this game.
The head coach of the Vikings was the guy that got Jared Goff to the Super Bowl, and the guy that got Jared Goff to beat Patrick Mahomes in one of the best regular season games of all time. That was like 107 to 106.
Exactly.
Right? So I think, damn it, I thought we were going to disagree there. We have the Kansas City Chiefs against the Arizona Cardinals, the DeAndre Hopkins less Arizona Cardinals. KC's favored by 6 points, traveling to Glendale, Arizona. I've been on the Kyler Murray train. I think he's I don't know why he would sign that fucking contract, but I've also, because you took such a violent stance against it, I think that Kansas City has an excellent wide receiver room and a great skill position room. So I think Kansas City is going to win this game by 15.
Yeah. Again.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, no, this is rough, man. But like, if you think about it, I was just looking over the week because we have been agreeing literally on every single game. But if you look through the week, like, yes, it's a good slate. I'm very happy with our week 1 slate. But it is kind of easy to be chalk and be like, yeah, no, that team kind of looks better than this team. And that's 100%. That's 100% the case here. Like, listen, I like the Cardinals this year. I like Kyler. I like that they traded for Hollywood Brown. They committed to James Conner. and he's now the bell cow there. But I don't see them beating the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Even with the wide receiver room there, it's still Patrick Mahomes. You know, and Cliff Kingsbury. You know, I will go down. I'll go down. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but
well,
I'll go.
You better finish that statement.
All I'm saying is Cliff Kingsbury is not a great head coach. You know what I mean? I don't think that he is the dude that can lead, you know, a guy with like Kyler Murray to a championship, who they have to put a studying contract in the clause. I do like DeAndre Hopkins, who clearly has trouble staying on the field and has trouble being committed to a team. It doesn't seem like he's the right guy for that room, and I don't see the Cardinals, you know, upsetting the Chiefs in this game. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Why don't you pick first? Because the last 4:00 game on Sunday, we have the Las Vegas Raiders going to the Chargers, and this is the first matchup of what we think is going to be the best division in football, the AFC West. The line is Chargers by 3, so it's basically a pick 'em because it's a home game. Over under is 52. All right, Bobby, Raiders, Chargers. Who you got and why?
I'm going Raiders. If you're kidding me, you're fucking kidding. So I'm going Raiders because the Chargers already don't have a home field advantage here, so I just already look at this as an Oakland home game. If you're asking me, I think, or Oakland, goddamn it, Las Vegas home game. I'm so high on the Chargers this year, man. I really, really like this team, or the Raiders. God, I really, really like the Raiders this year. It just, you look at Derek Carr last year, what he went through and what he brought that team through with Henry Ruggs, you know, in his situation, John Gruden, his situation. There's just so many different things that have happened. And when a team is going through all that, what's the one thing they try and rely on? The quarterback. And he brought them through it, and he brought them to the goddamn playoffs, man. And I look at that whole thing, and I'm just like, goddamn, that's so impressive. And I just think the Raiders this year to me are the hot topic. And to me, I think they have a possibility to win that division. So I'm going Raiders in this game. I have to do it. I'm going Raiders. Don't tell me you're taking the Raiders.
So I'm taking the Raiders, and I think that people for a long period of time, and some of it's been justified, some of it has not been justified, have been underrating Derek Carr. Is he on Patrick Mahomes' level? No. But to his credit, he's never had a Devante Adams in the pros. So the fact that they get to rekindle their college connection, I think that this has all the makings of being like a wagon of a team. When Hunter Renfrow is now your number 2, like, you're in a really good spot. You are in a really good spot. Listen, I think the Chargers made a lot of additions in the offseason as well. I think, but they're notorious for starting slow and always finishing strong. So listen, the loser of this game, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, they're going to lose the division now. Like, this is going to be a bloodbath of a division, which is why I'm glad that we didn't have to pick that on the third annual NFC versus AFC show that you can find in the show notes, because there's a real chance all 4 teams could win 10 games. Then what?
It's the craziest division I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like that division.
Yep. So now we're going to disagree, Bobby. Disagree. Sunday Night Football.
I feel like it was building towards this. You know what I mean? It was like a tag team. It was like a tag team like a tag team that has the.
Yeah. Now I'm going to turn on you. I'm Owen Hart. You're Bret Hart. I'm about to turn. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Dallas on Sunday Night Football to take on Bobby's Dallas Cowboys. Right now, the line is Tampa Bay 2.5, which is it's pretty bad. It's like a 5.5 point game. That's what they're saying right there.
I think it's kind of fair.
Over under is 51 points. 63% of the voting population believes that Tampa Bay is going to win this game. I've heard everything negative to be said about Tom. He's going through a divorce, whatever he's going through. He's 45. Here's what I know. Julio Jones is his fourth option. That's what I know. And you got Leonard Fournette doing his best Jerome Bettis impersonation, put on 60 pounds in the offseason of not muscle. And I think he's going to run like a lunatic. People forgot about Cameron Brate. He's a pretty good tight end. That defense is fast. And now you got Todd Bowles in there as the head coach. I think this will be a close game. I think it will mimic pretty much what you saw last year. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'm going to just tell you right now, I think this is going to be one of those 28-24 games.
I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. Okay. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong.
You got CeeDee Lamb.
I was just going to do that. Yeah. No, I just held up my 88 jersey that I have on for everyone.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
That's not YouTube. Yeah, we're on YouTube now. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a really close game. No, I'm not agreeing with you about the game. I'm not picking against my Cowboys. You fucking crazy.
Not a week one.
It's week one. Come here. Come on, man. Yeah, no, I think the Cowboys pull away in a close game here because, listen, we already saw this game last year. We literally saw this exact game. It led off the season last year, and now it's the prime time. But it feels like one of those games that Dak puts him on his shoulders and he wins. Last year he told Brady he was going to see him in February, and he didn't. But he's seen him again the next September, and I think this time he comes out on top.
I'm not sure how he would have seen him in February. They're in the same conference. So that doesn't make any goddamn sense. That more
in January, what later in the season? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just the whole Tom Brady saga, man. I know it's Tom Brady. I get it, but I got another alert today that said Tom Brady still at odds with Giselle. It was one of my notifications on my phone. And I'm telling you right now, I've seen someone in a midlife crisis before. Okay. Personally, I have seen it in my house. And that's what Tom Brady looks like to me. He's got that skinny jaw going on. He's got a tan that he's never had before. Did you see this dude's haircut? Come on. Trevon Diggs is about to pick him off 3 times in this opening game.
Sure. Yeah, he got Botox. But let me tell you the alert that you got before that Giselle is still not reconciled was at 44 years old. He led the league in passing.
That's fair.
So
I can't. If you're going to tell me to talk intelligently about football, I can't sit here and rip Tom Brady in any way whatsoever. So the only thing I can do is attack the personal life that's been blowing up my phone for the last 3 weeks. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. I said it on the pick show. He's in his prime at age 45. Like, God damn it, dude. He was voted number 1 player by the NFL, by the players in the NFL. That is at age 45.
Right.
Listen, I pick up my daughter and I feel a twinge in my back every 4 times. Okay. This dude is 45 and what are we? 33, 34? 34. I was trying to give us a year, for the general public. But this dude is 45 years old and throwing a football for 41 touchdowns and what was it, 12 interceptions, something stupid like that.
5,000.
5,000 yards, and was voted the number 1 player in football. I'm picking the Cowboys by 3, but I don't feel great about it, and I'm really just hoping that we can stay close.
Also,
I'm picking the Cowboys by 3, and I will go to death by that. But
I think
I wouldn't put money on it.
We are just upon the 10-year anniversary of some famous sports pundit claiming that Tom Brady has fallen off the cliff. So just remember that he's still here. he's still fucking here
after that Chiefs game.
No, that was 2014, 2012 when he was seeing ghosts and dodging himself in the pocket. Yeah. That's where we are. The final game for week 1. It has Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos returning to his old stomping grounds against the Seattle Seahawks. This will be, I think, an emotionally like a high-strung game. There's no way on God's green earth that it's close, because the Broncos were not a terrible team with Drew Lock as quarterback, and now they have Russell Wilson. So I get it. He'll be emotional. I'm looking for this. I think that Seattle is going to be loud. I think it's going to be great to see. Monday Night Football will be must see, but I think that you're going to see Denver by more than, I would say by more than 10 over Seattle.
I want to pick Seattle so bad, just to go against you, but like I can't, man. This game screams to me like 30-10. You know what I mean? Like at least. When you look at this Seattle team, I love the Seattle wide receiver core. It might be my favorite receiver core in the NFL with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I just don't think that they have it anymore. It's a completely new regime. If I were them, I would have completely cleaned house. If you're trading Russell Wilson, then you just listen. You're bombing it. You know what I mean? I would have just cleared everything. I just don't see Pete Carroll really committing to this rebuild and committing to Drew Lock or fucking Geno Smith as his quarterback. Get the fuck
Geno Smith.
You just had Russell Wilson, and now you're gonna have Geno Smith try and come in and redo that, or have Drew Lock. No, get the fuck out of here. And now your guys across the sideline from you. This game has blowout written all over it on Monday Night Football, and I can't wait to see the Russell Wilson overreactions after that first Monday night game, because if there's a thing that screams overreaction to me, it's Russell Wilson blowing out the Seattle Seahawks on a Monday night. The first Monday Night Football of the year. Oh my God. I can't wait.
How excited are you, Bobby?
I would say if you were to rate me on a scale of, 1 to 10, I would go like a 14.
On a scale of 6 to midnight?
100% midnight. I'll go 88. On a scale of 6 to midnight, I'm 88.
Yeah, that's great. Well, for the real BK Bob Kelly, this is Michael Marcangelo saying, when you are listening to this, you have less than 12 hours till kickoff. Enjoy week 1 of the NFL, and thank you so much for listening to Missing the Point.